Former Steelers defensive back and now ESPN commentator Ryan Clark with his thoughts on the Browns' 2024 roster. This from the Mina Kimes Show.
The roster is off the charts. Like, let's think if Nick Chubb is back to being Nick Chubb. Because I do believe sometimes the fact that he dresses like the uniform man that they put on the wall in the locker room makes us forget just how talented this dude is, how explosive he is offensively. One man never gets him down. Very rarely the first tackler puts hands on him. And I know this is like fantasy world, Mina, but I go back to Baltimore, Cleveland, the day Deshaun Watson gets hurt. And I was like, finally, you showed that you want to play and you still can play. Now, he's coming off of a shoulder injury, but if he's anywhere close to what they acquired him to be, that's all you need when you have Kevin Stefanski. And I think, and if I'm being honest with you, Mina, Joe Flacco makes me say this.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest.
Like, we have proof of concept. Like, all you need is competent quarterback play.
With that, let's welcome in Fred Greetham, senior analyst for the Orange and Brown Report. Fred, valid point. That's a very valid point.
I think they've been reading what I had to say or listening to you and me talk. I've been saying this, I'm not a Deshaun Watson apologist, but with this roster, they just need, average or a little above average play, I think, to even get to the playoffs. Now, to win the Super Bowl or go deep in the playoffs, they're going to need, better than just average play. But you got a defense that can hold teams down, and you got some playmakers out there. And this is no disrespect to Joe Flacco, but you dropped him into the cockpit of a good team, and he had time to throw, and he did what he does best. And Watson has a little bit more, all the way around. He has youth over Flacco. He has mobility. He has the arm. Now, coming off the shoulder injury, that's a question, but I saw him throw a 50-yard pass to end minicamp. So, yeah, I agree with what they said. And you go back to, I think the key, obviously, is Deshaun Watson, how he goes. As so many teams, the quarterback play determines. But the Nick Chubb, Nick Chubb is at least one of the top 3 running backs, if not the best in the NFL prior to the injury. And, what I've seen in the progress and what I've heard a little bit, even if he's at 80% of the old Nick Chubb, he averaged 6.1 yards a carry before he got hurt last year. And for a career, I think he's 5.3. Even if you, got 80% and you were able to get 4 yards a carry out of him, that's better than anybody else on the roster last year, So I think that, if anybody's going to be able to get back, close to his full talent, it'd be Nick Chubb. So, I saw a video of him hopping on one leg and doing some things. So I'm optimistic. I don't want the Browns to push him because they have everybody that was playing and plays him last year minus Kareem Hunt, but they went out and got Dante Foreman and Nyheim Hines to kind of split up the tackle to tackle with Foreman and the running and the passes out of the backfield with Hines. So I think they can afford to let Chubb get back until he mentally and physically is ready to go.